Welcome to an interactive video focusing on adapting instructional methods for diverse learners. This skill means modifying teaching strategies to meet diverse cultural needs in digital environments. As a lecturer, developing this skill allows you to adjust your teaching styles, integrate diverse examples, develop content with multiple viewpoints, and select platforms that support cultural inclusivity. Acquiring this skill means that you are able to adjust teaching styles to suit diverse cultural backgrounds, based on feedback from culturally diverse students. Integrate culturally diverse examples in lessons. Develop content displaying diverse viewpoints. Select platforms that support diverse learning needs and provide accessibility features for diverse learning needs. Why adapt teaching methods? In today's multicultural and digitally transformed academic landscape, classrooms are more culturally diverse than ever before. Students bring a wide range of beliefs, values, communication styles, and learning preferences shaped by their cultural backgrounds. This diversity enriches academic environments, but also challenges traditional teaching methods that often reflect a dominant cultural perspective. Higher education lecturers aiming to foster equitable and inclusive learning face the task of adapting instructional methods to meet diverse learner needs. This requires intentional instructional design, flexible pedagogical approaches, and incorporation of digital tools that promote inclusion. It also encompasses deeper dimensions like values, interaction styles, and learning styles. Successfully addressing these elements in digital learning environments requires awareness, adaptability, and a sustained commitment to inclusive pedagogy. Why it matters. Cultural diversity among students influences learning preferences, communication, engagement, and perception of authority. A one-size-fits-all approach to instruction may marginalize students from minority or underrepresented backgrounds, reduce their motivation, or limit their academic performance. Effective lecturers reflect on how their teaching methods can unintentionally privilege certain groups over others. Inclusive, adaptable methods foster equitable participation and recognition and allow all students to feel respected and empowered. In digitally transformed environments, adaptation also means ensuring that online platforms and tools are inclusive and culturally responsive. One essential strategy is adjusting teaching styles to align with diverse cultural backgrounds. This can be achieved by varying instructional approaches, using a combination of individual, paired, and group-based learning tasks. While some students may feel more comfortable in independent work, others may thrive in collaborative settings that reflect collectivist values. In addition, providing multiple forms of expression is important. Students might be encouraged to demonstrate their learning through written reflections, visual presentations, or even audio and multimedia submissions. Such flexibility acknowledges the different ways in which students may prefer or feel confident to communicate. A balance between synchronous and asynchronous course components also supports inclusion. Asynchronous materials, for instance, can give students from cultures that prioritize reflection the space to process and respond thoughtfully, without the pressure of real-time discussion. Another strategy involves integrating culturally diverse content directly into lessons. Instead of focusing solely on Western or dominant cultural narratives, lecturers might include examples and case studies from a broader global spectrum. For example, contrasting how political or ethical concepts are approached in East Asia, Africa, and Europe. This not only deepens academic learning but enhances relevance. Students can also be encouraged to bring in examples from their own cultures, helping to co-create a curriculum that reflects the classroom's actual diversity. Moreover, reading lists and multimedia selections benefit from broader representation. Including authors and perspectives from underrepresented regions and cultures ensures a more inclusive academic discourse and increases student engagement. Developing content that reflects diverse viewpoints helps cultivate a learning environment that feels both inclusive and intellectually rich. Lecturers might present both dominant and alternative perspectives on key issues, allowing students to see complexity and nuance rather than a single accepted truth. It is also helpful to avoid tokenistic or superficial references to culture. Instead, materials should offer depth and authenticity, reflecting lived realities rather than relying on generalizations. Regularly reviewing course materials can help ensure that biases or outdated representations are identified and removed. 3. Digital tools, when used intentionally, also support inclusive teaching practices. Platforms that offer accessibility features, such as closed captions, screen reader compatibility, adjustable text sizes, or multilingual support, can help reduce barriers for students with different needs. Interactive tools provide space for multimodal contributions, whether visual, written, or oral, allowing students to choose forms of engagement that align with their strengths or cultural preferences. Additionally, providing options for flexible participation, such as recorded lectures, asynchronous discussions, or extended deadlines, can support students across different time zones or those who may need extra time to formulate responses, particularly when engaging in a second or third language. 4. Finally, gathering feedback and centering student voice plays an important role in refining teaching practices. Creating regular opportunities for students to share their experiences, through surveys, reflective journals, or online check-ins, helps lecturers identify where adaptations may be needed. Importantly, when students see their feedback leading to real changes in course delivery, they feel more respected and included in the learning process. In culturally diverse settings, it's also important to create safe spaces for expression. Students from some backgrounds may be reluctant to openly critique a lecturer due to cultural norms around authority. Offering anonymous feedback channels or nonverbal input tools can help bridge this gap and ensure that all voices are heard. Challenges and how to address them. Implementing culturally responsive teaching in a digital environment presents several practical challenges. One common issue is the lack of culturally relevant resources. Existing materials often reflect narrow perspectives. Collaboration with colleagues, shared repositories, open educational resources, OERs, and inviting diverse guest speakers can broaden content and add authenticity. To support multilingual students, simplifying language, using visuals, and offering glossaries or shorter segments can aid comprehension without reducing rigor. Language barriers are another challenge, especially in multilingual classrooms. Using clear language, visuals, glossaries, and breaking down complex ideas into smaller, manageable segments helps students learn effectively without lowering academic standards. Lecturers may also worry about getting it right when creating inclusive content. Rather than overhauling entire courses, it is more practical to start small, adapting one activity, reading list, or assignment. Small, steady steps make inclusivity an evolving practice. Time is a real constraint, but changes can be built up gradually across semesters. Adding diverse examples, offering flexible assessment formats, or making incremental adjustments helps balance inclusivity with workload. In conclusion, adapting instructional methods is both a pedagogical enhancement and a moral imperative. Reflect on practices, integrate diverse voices, leverage inclusive technologies, and respond to student feedback to build where all students, regardless of background, are supported to thrive and contribute meaningfully. Now we invite you to the quiz section where you can test your knowledge by answering 3 questions. Tick the correct answer. Whether you chose right or wrong, you will be given an explanation for the answer. Here we go.